And we get a hype for our final run. CTR with Natty at any percent Warpless. Good luck, and let's go.
Good play!
Okay, so I will tell you when time starts, and it will be in a second here. As soon as I gain control. Time. Okay, so this is Crash Team Racing for the PlayStation 1, which I'm playing on a PlayStation 2 because I'm making use of the fast disk speed feature on the PS2, so it spins the disk faster, which basically means it loads quicker, saves something like a minute. No one's ever timed it because PS2's faster, so we don't really care. So, this game is pretty much an epic racing adventure between a group of marsupials and some evil scientists who are racing it off against nitrous oxide, who is going to enslave the entire planet if he is not beaten in a 1v1 race, which, you know, that's pretty much the best kind of storyline I think I've ever heard in a video game. So, basically, the aim of the game is to race through 16 hub tracks and 4 boss races, and then face Oxide off in a 1v1 race. So there is sort of 21 races in the entire game that we'll be going through, and a lot of that will be spent going sideways. So the main mechanic in this game is going to be what we call mini turboing. So when I drift, I go into a drift, and then the bar at the bottom right is going to start filling up, and then I'm going to press the opposite shoulder button as full as that bar can get, and I get a little mini turbo, which gives me a little bit of speed. And the idea is that I need to keep doing these mini turbos because I want to keep up the fire that's coming out of the back of my exhaust. So the I've messed up the Crash Cove shortcut. This is going to be a Comedy Cove run, so it's alright. My PB did that like last time. So, but yeah, so which clearly demonstrates that if I don't keep doing these little mini turbos, the fire out of my exhaust actually gets smaller and I lose speed. So this game has a snowball effect. Okay. Yeah.
Congratulations.
The first track is absolutely the most difficult thing, so if you're here for hype, then that's about all you're gonna get. So
The more Warpless
it pains me a lot that I have to carry on right now. You know, the pressing start, hitting reset is a reflex that I have when I've done resetless runs, but never mind. So, as I was saying, I need to keep drifting, because then I keep the fire coming out of the back of my exhaust. I can only get the full amount of fire by going over a turbo pad, so the idea is that we want to get the first turbo pad that we can in the track, and then keep the fire as long as we can by keeping these drifts up. So I'm going to get the fire here and do the exact same. And every time I land on a boost pad as well, that just adds to my reserves, which keeps the fire. So this is the first track where we're going to see the Speed Ghost tech. I like making fun of the names of the tech, which was made by like a group of teenagers in 2008 or something. But I honestly can't think of a better name for Speed Ghost when I was thinking of what to rename it for the remaster, because that sounds kind of silly. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going down these hills, and then I'm getting speed, and then I'm keeping that speed by basically doing these hops. So when you go down a hill, the game gives you extra speed, and then to maintain that speed I have to do small hops, because if I just drive normally, the game will take that speed off me, which is what is probably intended. So the game wants you to go down these hills, get the speed as you're going down the hill, and then lose it as soon as you sort of straighten out. So the idea is I want to keep that speed as long as possible, because the longer I keep that speed, the more time I'm going to save, because I'm going faster than the base car can go. So the idea is a lot of the tech in this game is getting a lot of speed and then trying to keep that speed as long as I possibly can. Which we do by, like I said, doing hopping, or the community calls froggying, which you can call it what you want really, but the idea is that you only really want to hop when you have more speed than you're supposed to have, and then that reduces the amount of time you're in contact with the track, which then reduces the amount of speed that you actually lose. So that's sort of the idea behind the froggy mechanic. So we'll be seeing Speed Ghost in most tracks. This one's definitely got quite an important one. But speed ghosts can also sort of help you get more speed ghosts, which is hopefully something we can see in this track, but I'll point it out if it does happen. And you get what's called a mega speed ghost, which is just a speed ghost, which is just even faster, you know. You get more speed. So here we've got this downhill, and then I'm gonna go over here. Now there's one of these apple crates, and that gives me fruit, which makes my car go faster. And the idea is that every single time I pick up a Wumper, it will actually give me more speed. And some tracks like this one is long enough that I can get sort of full amount of Wumper, and it will make me go faster during the entire track. It also makes speed ghosts a bit more consistent, and it does give your items a power up, which isn't too important for the run. It's very rarely that we sort of use items, and the item I've got now is a nitro, and basically if I place it, I'm going to have to avoid it every single lap because it's very unlikely that an AI is actually going to hit it. And because I don't need to slow the AI down, there's no real need for me to drop it, so I'm just going to hold on to this until lap 3. There's also a little mechanic there. If you froggy up hills, it's actually a little bit faster than just driving up them normally, so sometimes you can just push the car up a hill that way. But of course, when I'm not drifting, I'm steadily losing the reserves I've built up. So it's good like this, like here as well. There's a little shortcut there which goes across the dirt. Again, if I froggy on the dirt, I don't get slowed down as much by the dirt, so that's a little cut there. But obviously, the more time I'm driving forward and hopping, the less time I'm building fire at the exhaust. So if I do it too much, because driving in a straight line is quicker than drifting, but if I do it too much, obviously I'll run out of fire, which will then be slower. So I need to make sure I keep enough reserves to keep fire. But I'm actually losing reserves every frame. So every single frame, I'm losing some of that reserve that I need to keep up. And because I'm also running the NTSC version of the game runs at 30 FPS, so I'm actually losing my reserves quicker than the PAL version, which only runs at 25 FPS. And yeah, there are a few more version differences. NTSC is easier, and I think every person who's run this game on PAL has lost their sanity will agree that NTSC is easier, which is why I swapped to it. But it's also actually faster as well. The main difference is that NTSC has higher hops. So if you see the counter at the bottom right, every time I'm in the air, that counts up. And the little hops I do, it says 26 on that. On PAL, it's 23, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but for doing some tricks, it actually makes some tricks a lot more difficult on PAL. So it's just a quick shortcut here. This is intended. According to IGN, you need an Aku mask to get up there. But it's quite easy if you just time your jump. And then the barrels are on an annoying cycle, but they're consistent, so I usually know where they are. And then there's a wall here. So on that wall, I just slide up it and jump off, and I have a speed ghost here. So you can tell I'm going a lot faster than the speed ghost I was getting in the other tracks. The walls here work kind of funny, in that if you just sort of go up them and sort of jump off, you just get an insane amount of speed that you want to keep as long as possible. It's kind of difficult in this track because immediately after the first corner there are 2 ramps, and you have to keep your froggy going over the ramp. If you touch the ramp, you'll just get shot up into the air and you'll just go back to your base speed. So there we go. I've got speed again on this one, not quite as much as last time, I don't think. And okay, so I got hit by that ramp, so I'm just going to drift the rest of that part. But it's not worth trying to froggy if I don't have extra speed, so I'm just going to go back into drifting and make sure I keep my fire. And yeah, as I was saying about the cycles, they are consistent as long as like, oh boy, it's one of those runs. Yeah, I've sped run this game so long and I still can't do sped run this game long enough that I still can't do the intended shortcuts, but that's okay. But yeah, I was going to say these cycles are consistent for when I start the track for the first time, and then if I reset the track, it will actually keep the cycles going, so I won't have any idea what I'm going to get. So if you're mad enough to time trial that track, you will have to get used to the cycles, probably killing most of your runs.
Everyone's making funny by the way.
I don't care. Right, so this is going to be the first boss race of the run. And every time you sort of do 4 tracks, you have a boss, and the boss race is always a track that you've already done, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it's sort of like, if it's a track you like, it's okay, but the boss tracks are usually the ones I don't like very much. This one is a little annoying because it's very easy to just lose time by not getting all the tech. Okay. But at the same time, it's also a really fast track to play, so it's sort of it's a fun track, but it's a very difficult track for what it is. The bosses, all they really do is just they race a little faster than the regular AI, but all Ripperoo does is drop TNTs. So as long as I'm not behind him, then I'm fine. But I can actually catch up with him at the end of lap 3, so hopefully I won't get like bad TNTs in the way. It's very rare that I have sort of bad RNG on this race, because it takes a very consistent path, but the bosses themselves are not difficult to race against. So we should see the... Oh, yeah, okay, there we go. There's some TNTs going up. If I had a bit of a faster lap 2, 3, then I would have caught up with them a bit more. Yeah, thanks. We did.
Congratulations on opening.
Which brings me aptly onto our next point of character choice. There are 2 characters that people run as, and for obvious reasons people pick Coco over Engine, but you can use Engine for this run. And basically we pick a character that has a good speed stat, but doesn't lose out too much on speed against sort of characters like Dingo and Tiny, because Dingo and Tiny have the highest speed stat, but they have really bad handling, whereas Coco has a decent speed stat, but better handling. But basically, you sort of want a balance between not that great handling, but a good speed stat. Because as we're driving sideways a lot, if you have a character that can handle really well, you can actually overturn a lot. So you'll notice that in time trials as well, because there is a character called Pentapenguin, which is a cheat-only character that you can use for time trials, and he has max stats. But even some tracks are faster to use a character that has really poor handling, because you just drive in a straight line a lot. So Coco sort of has a good mix of not having the best handling, but also not having the best speed, but not having terrible handling or do good handling. So across the entire run, she's faster. Unfortunately, she does lose time in some tracks compared to sort of Dingo and Tiny. So you can run as Dingo or Tiny, but it's not really recommended. Some of the later tracks you'll just lose a lot of time because of how much there are cornering in them. This is quite a notorious track for losing time for pretty much no reason. We need an item that we can either shoot or throw to open the shortcut door. So luckily I got 3 items on each lap that I could use. I can use bombs, missiles, potions, anything that I can just shoot forward to open up this door. So I'm going to do a speed ghost here, open this door, and then just froggy through. And basically, if you don't get the shortcut, it's a 2-second time loss every time. And that kind of sucks, because if you get none of them, you've lost 6 seconds, and it's just like, well, okay, but nothing you can really do about that one. And some people sort of think that that's the biggest problem with the RNG, but we'll probably see some AI shenanigans later that I will complain about, and then I can't do anything. We've got a great voice line from Aku here, and I think I need to take his advice quite literally, because this run's not off to the greatest start.
Faster.
There we go, thank you, Aku.
Go faster, man.
Yeah.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
We do.
All right, we have a $5 donation from Anonymous with no comment. Thank you for that. And we have another $5 donation from BlitzPhoenix98 saying, "Hello, friend. Good luck on your run and hope you crush Oxide as usual."
Yeah, shoutouts to Blitz Phoenix. He's the current world record holder of this game. This is the first marathon run where he's had world record. And he's been grinding the game recently. Unfortunately, he's an old boy time trawler who has a webcam recording of his TV. So the worse your video quality, the better you are at this game. That's pretty much the way it works. But yeah, absolutely great run if you want to see this game played at a really high level. Yeah, so this track has it hasn't too much going for it. It has this grass cut where I want to basically get a froggy and get enough speed that I can get over that bump and then sort of get a speed ghost down it, and there's also a speed ghost there that I'm going to go for, and then I can cut this grass. So hopefully we can get a better shortcut lap 3, see how it goes. There's also a little speed ghost I can get there. This is a very straightforward track. It's very open as well, so hopefully I can get a bit more. There we go, that's a bit better. That's sort of what I'm aiming for, so I'm going to... So basically, what happened there is I did sort of a hop that went into a drift. You can do what's called a mid-air MT, so you can actually go into a mini turbo sort of in the air, and then you can still get mini turbos, and that gives me enough height to get over the hill and and land on the downhill, which then gives you a lot of speed. So that saves sort of a couple of seconds as opposed to doing it slowly and hitting the grass. I do it that way as well, which gives me more reserves, but if you're running on PAL, it's more recommended to just not go for the mid-air MT and just sort of go into the hill and froggy, and then you can get the downhill speed the same way, but you don't get the extra fire from doing the mid-air MT. So there are some minor strats that you'd see differently between the two versions, and that's sort of one of them. It's very difficult to get on PAL. So this is the first track we're going to see quite a big unintended shortcut, and it's sort of making use of some scenery that the game doesn't want us to be on. So it tries its hardest to kick us off. I don't know what to do with that. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to jump onto this wall. So this wall is really annoying because it tries to push you back onto the track. The game's like, you're not supposed to be on there. And it's trying to push you onto the track. So when you actually land on it, you're not driving on a proper track. You're sort of hopping. And I just have to make sure that I control it with sort of micromanaging left and right. So it's not too difficult. This is usually a big reset point for new runners. Hitting the AI is a bit annoying. Let's use this Aku. I never get these in runs, so this is kind of cool. It's completely RNG. Oh, and I hit a wall. This is not a good thing. Okay. There we go. So basically, I should not have used that Aku. I knew that was a bad idea. Basically, an Aku is an item you can get in anything but first place, and it gives you speed. But because we don't really manipulate items in this run, because it's slower to go behind the AI. Because it's generally slower to go behind the AI, we don't usually try and go for Akus, but sometimes if the AI get a fast start and they go ahead of you, you can get the first crate and aim for an Aku. But Papoose is probably the worst track to ever get an Aku in. We're going to activate that cutscene there. Basically, we have to activate it at some point during the run because it's slower to avoid that cutscene. So we're going to do it there, and we're just going to cut that corner tighter so that we don't sort of have to go around Papoose door. We might as well just trigger it as soon as we can. So now we're on to Dingo Canyon. This is, again, another very straightforward track. It's a mystery to me because every time I do this track, I think, wow, that was a good lap, and it wasn't. And then when I have a really bad lap, I think, wow, that was a bad lap, and it was a good lap. So I still don't really understand this track. So there's sort of a speed goes down there. We're going to frog up this hill and get this turbo pad. And then we have these armadillo things, which like to slide across the road. Basically, if you hit one, they spin you out, which will lose all your speed and obviously all your fire. So we don't want to hit them, but they're very avoidable because you can usually see where they are. So we're going to get a speed ghost down that hill and then froggy across the dirt. Basically frogging again there so we don't get too much contact with the dirt, which will slow us down. But getting that speed ghost so that we actually have a little bit more speed. The speed ghost is really difficult to get because it's a very small hill. Some hills, that like the very big hills, you can sort of get a nice speed ghost off, but sometimes these little hills, you have to hit the right sort of pixels on the hill, which will give you a speed boost. And a lot of this game is hitting the right pixels to get more speed than hitting the other pixels, which can give you as much speed. And remembering where the pixels are is very difficult, so it's a lot of sort of hitting your head against a brick wall until you get the right pixel and go a bit faster. So that's pretty much the time rolling anyway. there aren't any pixel perfect tricks, but some, like I said, you sort of have to hit hills in a nice spot to get a bit more speed. So that's a very straightforward track. It's very rare to lose time in that, but I seem to lose time in every one of my PBs, so I don't know how it happens. So now we get the second boss, which is Papu Papu. He's got the greatest jiggle physics in video game history. He really is a big boy. And he's world's best driver, so the run pretty much ends here anyway.
Yeah, you actually can't beat this guy.
Yes, that's on the PAL version. So if anyone's seen a PAL run of this game, they would have seen the swapped boss heads. Because on the PAL version it has what's called the language glitch. For some reason the developers thought it's okay for you to cancel out the language selection menu. So you just press triangle and you don't select the language. So basically any time there's text, all that text gets removed. And every time there's a cutscene, the cutscenes are silent. But for some reason, all of the boss cutscenes, the boss heads are all mixed and matched. So if you were to do this run in PAL, you would have Papu's head on, Pinstripe's head on Papu's body, and Pinstripe will just be looking at you talking in complete silence. So if you haven't seen the PAL run, I would recommend just checking out those cutscenes, if anything. So we're going to do pretty much the same here. Instead, Papu's going to be throwing potions. He throws them up into the air. But again, they're only going to be a problem here on lap 3. Because we're just so far ahead of him, we're going to start catching up all the potions he's left on the track here. So hopefully I don't get any. That was a pretty good cycle. It did force me to take a wider line, but it's always better to just play it a bit safer there. You can sometimes get potions that are literally hidden behind boxes, as if like he's trying to trap you, like you would against your friends. So that's always something to look out for. But pretty good RNG there. Hopefully I get this last. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Let's go. Hell yeah. You're doing good, son. You're doing good. Good stuff. Keep going.
Do we have time for a donation?
Absolutely.
All right, we have a $7 donation from Argic saying, "This is my donation to the $1337 total. Let's make it happen." Yes, let's.
Him not as big, but him
So, Papu just has his little, his loser speech there. Basically, his theory is that he lost the race because he didn't eat enough breakfast. So, we have all been there. I always find a PB on the big breakfast, but... So here we're gonna like look backwards because we save a frame of lag. Ooh, big strat. Thank you, thanks. That was the most difficult strat driving into the portal and not being able to see where it is. So, oh my god, okay. So that's an example of having really bad RNG. The AI just drove all in front of me. I had 4 AI that had a start boost. Usually we have like 1 or 2. So they completely stopped me going for the shortcut, but that's fine. So we're going to do an intended shortcut here. Just jump over that lake. And then we're going to kill the run right here. Okay, so that's fine. So what I did there is I basically jumped onto the snow and then I did a mid-air MT, which gave me enough height to jump over the fence. This is a notorious run killer because it's such a precise jump and you sort of have to get the right angle, you have to hit the right pixels on the snow, and then all that has to, the stars have to align and you jump over the fence. So there we go. If you hit that fence, you have to take the drive of shame back onto the track and go around the intended way, and that loses 10 seconds every time you fail it. And with this kind of game, 10 seconds is a lot of time lost. Well, it is a lot of times in a lot of games, but this one, it's sort of, you don't want to carry on a run that fails because of that. Okay, AI is not too bad. Oh, 3 out. Let's just celebration.
Swag.
So, there we go. So hard attack's not over because there's 3 tracks in this hub, which I absolutely hate, but that's fine. Oh, new tech, okay. So next track is Dragon Mines, which is actually a track I really enjoy. Some people not enjoy it so much, but there are more cycles in this track. Luckily, these are, again, consistent cycles. So there's going to be minecarts that are going to be running straight through the track, but luckily, as long as I don't make any mistakes, I should know where they all are. So we're going to start off at the top of a hill, which is always fun, so we get to go down here with the speed goes, hopefully. Yeah, a little bit of one. And I'm just going to cut across this water here. Why not? It's a little bit of a shortcut. So we're going to go all the way to the side, get this mid-air MT, and then we're going to froggy into this bit and then back out. So basically what we're trying to do there is get a wide enough turn that Coco can make, because Coco doesn't turn well enough to take this optimally. If you were time trialing this and using a character that had really good handling, you wouldn't have to do all that. Basically we have to get a wide enough turn into that, and then we have to sort of froggy into the track, because the minecart track will try and slow us down. So we basically want to froggy in here, and then sort of just get a consistent drift out. You can froggy all the way through that shortcut and then jump out the other side, but it's very dependent on what sort of froggy chain you have. If you don't froggy and land on the track, you basically fall down and just lose a lot of time. So it's not something I do in RTA runs. Hopefully we get 3. Of course, this is again the track where I want to keep my fire through the whole time, so I don't want to hit a wall in there, and it's a very narrow hallway. Let's try and hit a wall. So then we're going to froggy up this hill. We don't need to worry about our reserves. This is the last lap, and then we just finish the track. If I froggy over the finish line, my lap will not count, and I have to do an extra lap to catch up, and I'd be in last place. That can kill your run.
You win a trophy.
It's not happened that many times, but I remember when I sort of started running this game, I had a race with the world record holder who did it 3 times, and I basically won the race against him. So that was that's a memory I'm gonna cherish from like God knows how many years ago. So this is, I don't think I've done this track 100% in a marathon. So we're basically going to be doing another unintended shortcut, and if anyone ever watches my stream, I do nothing but complain about this track, because I absolutely hate this track. But it's okay, we're going to try going for the shortcut anyway, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to just do a quick turnaround, going to get this boost pad, drive into the wall, jump off the wall, and land over here. So that's the shortcut, and then we're just going to do downhill here, past these seals, jump over this wall, which is intended shortcut. But again, the intended shortcuts are a lot more precise than they probably should be. And then we're just going to get this over here, and then we're going to do another corner cut over here, jump off the snow, and then that is the lap. So that's what we're going to do 2 more times.
Do we have time for a few donations?
We do.
All right. We have 3 $10 donations. One from Anonymous saying, sounds good to me. He wants that elite donation total. We have one from Edenal saying, here's my donation for the 1337 total to happen. Great job with the marathon. Thank you very much, Edenal. And one from Linkboss saying, hey guys, long-time donator, second-time viewer. It gives me great joy to view to the great cause of the 1337 total. Greetings from Frames. P.S. Donate the viewer, save the Germany. Thank you. Thank you all for your donations, everyone.
I'm glad we had some donations there. I made no mistakes in that track, absolutely. Perfect. Yeah. I lost 10 seconds to some really weird RNG. I don't know what happened there. The clock must have messed up. Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, no, it's a manual, you know.
Yeah, you took it for example too, quite a lot.
Yeah. So hopefully we're gonna get it this time. First
wait.
Oh! Okay. That was a very safe way to the shortcut. Basically, you can just land and then U-turn, which is something I do as a safe strat. Basically, I failed the second lap. Because I tried to U-turn too early, so I didn't actually have enough distance, and I thought I had way too much distance, and U-turn and just basically threw the shortcut away. So that's a really safe way to do it, to basically just land and then adjust your angle. So.
Congratulations, you win a
Okay,
trophy.
so well, now we've had some sort of very intense tracks even. We're going to spend 3 minutes jumping up hills. So this is the absolute highlight of the run. And I will try and make it sound like there's a lot going on, but really there really isn't. So
Who likes brown?
yeah, you like shades of brown in some hills and some mud. So this is the longest track in the game. As I said, it's 3 minutes, and that's if I get good laps. It's probably going to be more sort of 3:20.
Why did you call it tiny minutes so long?
Thanks, Ben. You made that joke earlier, but we're going to say it again.
I didn't make it on stream, so they don't know that.
But yeah, it's actually a thing to point out that the tracks are actually sort of named after the characters, so each character has a track. Apparently Mystery Caves is Fake Crash's track, even though it doesn't really say, and Blizzard Bluff is Penta's track, so you're okay to argue that. I don't really care, but there you go, there's some trivia. Yeah. But yeah, basically the idea of this track is to just cut the corners as best as I can and try and get propulsions off hills. So basically when you take a hill, you want the game to push you forward and not too much in the air. So this is there I got pushed forward, but that's the notorious hill for just sending me straight up and I land in the mud. So basically what I want to do is try and get good jumps off every single hill and not just waste too much time in the air. There's a good one to get in the air though, because you want to sort of take a tight turn. But there's sort of, I try and do the same thing each lap, jump off the same hill. So here I'm going to jump off that and go down that one. Here I'm going to drift to the left, and then I'm going to jump off this hill and hopefully get a good angle here, and then I'm going to jump off this hill and go left and hopefully get another good angle. Then I'm going to jump off this hill and then go jump off this hill, and it's pretty much that's all this track is.
Very exciting.
So, but every time I jump off the hill properly, it just saves, you know, little bits of a little bit of time each. So it's very worth learning this track, especially if you're starting out, because there's a lot of time you can lose in this track just by not really knowing what to do. And then when you get to my skill level, you still lose a lot of time in this track because you're not very good at it. But I just get criticized every time, so I don't get 100 laps, but whatever. But oh, I got a 101. I'll take that in a run. I will actually say this track is slower on NTSC. That's usually my excuse. I don't care about the benefits of NTSC, but if there's something bad, then I will make sure you know about it. Ooh, yeah, we've got some more hills. I think we did these hills earlier, but here we go. Oh, I didn't get to jump off that hill and hit the mud, so that's going to lose me some time. Here, this is actually kind of interesting. You want to jump off the first hill and the third hill, so there you go. They're actually actively trying to jump off the same hills there as well. And this is sort of, it's actually a tech that I do here that I don't think I've explained, but if I do shorter mini turbos, I actually take corners a bit tighter than doing longer mini turbos. If I do short mini turbos, they give me less reserves, but I take corners tighter. This is the kind of track where I'm going to have a lot of reserves that I don't really need, so I can always shorten my mini turbos to take corners a bit tighter, where I don't need to do long mini turbos in some tracks where I need the reserves. So you'll see that quite a lot in that kind of track. So
surely a long mini turbo is just a turbo.
The racers on these
no, it's a long mini.
Well,
It can't be long and mini.
see why I'm
So
the
like
most
medium turbo.
driver on the
A mini turbo, that's got to be like a micro turbo.
base oxide by
Mic-
crushing
You can
They're called micro
consult
turbos now.
you can consult the CTR time trial community and rename all the tech in this game
I
if you
will.
really want to, and I'd be happy for you to do so. Right, so we're gonna get another boss race here. Again, we're gonna be in Dragon Mines, which we've seen before. Joe's a very annoying boss because he drops nitro. Oh, hello wall. Do you come here often? Okay, so Joe's gonna drop a lot of TNTs, which he throws into the air and they land and they explode, and then he's going to drop nitros. The problem with Joe is that... Okay. Well, this is going well. Joe's causing me problems and he hasn't done anything. Okay, we're just going to do this thing. This is the intended way to do it. It's a very tight turn. So, Modo Joe, as I said, he throws TNTs into the air and then he drops nitros on the track. Because he doesn't drop that many items, there's basically an upper limit on how many items can be on the track. As soon as that limit's reached, every time a new item is put on the track, the oldest one is blown up. So basically, because Joe doesn't drop enough items on the track, I will start running into his stuff on lap 3. I probably... Yes. Got a bad slow. I probably should have gone to the right there. Never mind, that's not too bad. So, lap 3. So there we go, there's a nitro there, which is actually one of the best places it could be. You can actually get nitros that you can't actually see down the hill. and those ones will just you'll just hit and you won't even know that they're there. So, but usually sort of after the shortcut you won't really be that trouble with the nitro. So unfortunately lap 1 was the best, and because there's always a snowball effect, so I didn't really have a lot of reserves for lap 2 and 3, but still managed to get through it. It's also worth mentioning that because I'm on NTSC, and PAL and NTSC are sort of sped up in a way that they're equal to an extent, so if you sort of time trial, the time in game is pretty much the same. But NTSC still has 30 frames a second cycles, and PAL cycles are at 25, so they move 5-6 speeds slower. So NTSC minecarts move like bullet trains compared to PAL, because you can actually hit the back of a minecart on PAL because you go a lot faster than them. So that's another thing to note down with NTSC. So now we're going into hub 3, hub 4 even, which is the last hub in the game, but it has the longest tracks, and we're going to introduce a new mechanic, woohoo, which is always exciting. This is my favourite part of the speedrun, because I get to tell you all what it's called. So, this is a mechanic that's going to be reliant on how many reserves I have. So, keeping fire is really important for this track, so I'm going to be making sure that I drift and get full mini turbos. Engine steals that at one box very often, well someone steals it, but never mind. We've got another one that we can get over here. So this ramp here is a special ramp. This one is a super turbo ramp, and it gives us a super turbo boost. And from that, we can get what the community has called an ultimate sacred fire, which is just what they decided to call it years ago. A group of teenagers playing CTR in a bedroom. So. Yeah, not together. So basically, we're going to get another one here to really see the speed. So what it's going to do is going to give me a super speed, and as long as I don't overwrite this speed, I'm going to keep it until I run out of reserves. So I don't want to hit any walls, I don't want to overwrite with the mini turbo, and basically keep that speed as long as possible. Now I don't have that USF because I hit the turbo pad, but I'm going to chain them. Oh, I didn't quite have enough reserves at that point. But so the idea is to make sure I have as many reserves in this track as I possibly can have, so that I have a long USF that lasts until at least that first round, and then keep the fire going throughout. But like, as I said before, my reserves are always ticking down. Hello, go left. So my reserves are always ticking down per frame, so I have to make sure I'm drifting as full as I can. It's a little cut there, which is just time. Because you move so fast, you just sort of fly over that hole, and then here. Okay, so that corner I basically have to drift, and because I have so much speed, I can't really take a very good line. So I have to drift and then sort of froggy out because I can't take that corner properly. But if I froggy onto that first ramp, it will give me a propulsion, and then I get a lot of speed from that, which I can then carry on by froggying. So it's all about keeping that speed, like I said before, having more speed than the game wants you to have, and then keeping that speed as long as possible. Because this is lap 3, I don't need to worry too much about how many reserves I have. We've got the box there now. And then set track, so.
Do we have time for a few donations?
We do.
Okay. We have a $20 donation from Oscar131 saying greetings from Denmark. Thank you. And before I read this next one, my sincerest apologies to all my Scottish friends. Because Indy donated $13.37 saying, "Good day, tropes. It's me, Indy. I'm watching the marathon from my cozy bro German home. And just want to say that I'm proud to be a part of UKSG. And seeing that UKSG has grown so strong. Keep up the good work. Until next time, I join you again. Kill the slow frames and see the Adam Brew. Hashtags." Hashtag sorry Polister OPOP. You'd better be sorry. But thank you for the donation, Indy. Really appreciate it.
Okay, so this is another track that features the USF. So you notice I'm trying to drift as well as I can, because this boost pad will give me the full speed. So I'm going to zip under that spider. And then basically I want to keep the speed until the first ramp, which I did, and then I sort of get this huge jump off there. And then I keep my full fire, so I don't need to worry about this part of the track. So again, it's a lot of taking hills the right way, making sure I keep my reserves high. I have to get these boost pads on NTSC, because if you don't really get enough reserves, because your reserves are very tight on this track on NTSC. PAL's a lot easier here, but I need to make sure I'm drifting as much as possible. There's a little corner cut there, and then hopefully this will also last the first round. But yeah, I need to keep it pretty much for this whole section. I suppose I can go up. Well, I'm going to go there anyway. And then to this ramp, which again I did. So that's... Ooh, I didn't quite get the mid-round either. Should be okay. Just to get... Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, because I didn't get a mid-air MT, my reserves ran out. Because when you sort of land on the boost pad, you want to be drifting on that boost pad if you don't have any reserves, because then it gives you enough reserves to keep that speed going. If you don't have any reserves and you drift on the boost pad, you won't, if you don't drift on the boost pad, sorry, your reserves will run out pretty much immediately. So because I didn't get that mid-air MT on the first boost pad, I didn't keep my speed, so I'm gonna go wee. I did it again! I did it again. I practiced this as well. I practiced it. I've never practiced it before, and I still can't do it in the marathon.
No. We fucked it up.
First try.
First try.
Congratulations.
Okay, new tech. So, whenever something new in this game is found, it's awful. But basically, if you press start on the right frame when you're getting a trophy, the game will pause, then you unpause, and you can move immediately, and you don't have to wait for Aku to congratulate you for winning your trophy. It saves 2 seconds, and it's completely about mashing start and hitting the right frame, and it's the worst tech ever, but it's in this game. So, we're going to get some new things to talk about here. This is going to be another unintended shortcut, but it's the first time we're going to feature loading the track and then going back on ourselves. So we've loaded that part of the track, and then we go back over here, jump down here, jump down here. So there's also another shortcut which you might have seen if you played this game before as a kid or as an adult, where you just jump up here and jump up here. So basically what I'm doing on both of those shortcuts is I have to drive forward to load the track, because how this game checkpoint system works is that it works out how much of the track you've driven, and then it works out how much of the track you should be able to drive on. So we need to drive forward to load the track beneath us, so that when we go back on ourselves we can jump down and that track will load for us and it won't pick us up. If we don't load this track and we land on it, Aku will just pick us straight up because he knows we're not supposed to be there. So it is still faster to come back on ourselves. It saves about 5 seconds for a shortcut does. And the second one, I don't know how much time this one saves, because everyone does it anyway. But it works on the same principle, where I have to go all the way down there to load this part of the track and then come back on myself. And I can also turn really tightly on that bit by doing a U-turn. So if I press square, and then press the down arrow, and then press the direction, I do what's called a U-turn, which is a really tight turn. It completely kills all of my reserves and all my speed. But for some places like that, I don't really have reserves, so it doesn't matter to do it there. Which is also how I do a turnaround here. So this is holding down and frogging. Little corner cut there. It's deceiving on where the edge of the road is, and you can just sort of fall down and not get a jump, which kind of sucks, but never mind. And the AI can completely destroy my shortcut here. Hopefully they don't. Okay, cool. It's completely random where the AI are going to be over that hill. They sort of have set paths, but if you drive on the set path that an AI chooses to be on, and you sort of don't really have much choice where you can be, you can actually just hit an AI and get knocked backwards. Okay, so that's a track that we're going to see again, unfortunately, because the 2 most hardest tracks in the game we have to do twice each, and we have to do them all back to back. So we're going to be going into probably the hardest track for most runners when they're definitely starting out. Because this is going to feature another couple of a lot more difficult shortcuts that actually save a lot of time. And unfortunately, we're going to skip the space station, the space section with low gravity, so which is my favourite part of the track, and we never do it. Never mind. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive over here, and I'm going to drift onto this wall, brake, and then I'm going to jump down here. So this is loading the track, is what we did in Hottest Skyway. AI of Oh, am I? Oh, that's
Yeah,
turn.
the screen. You need to turn red.
Okay, yeah, I'll
That's good.
there we go, fix it. So basically what I did there is I loaded the track and I went back on myself. The AI were sort of nice to me in that they didn't completely send me backwards. I'm in third, okay, here we go. So what I did is I loaded the track, went back on myself, and then I jumped up onto the wall and then drove on the wall to a later part in the track, which I then loaded. And basically I very much have to load as much as we can, because the more pixels we load on this side, the more pixels we can pretty much jump on down. So I want to land as far forward on that part, so as far away from that boost pad as I can, because then that loads more of the truck for me to jump on. So jump on this wall again, and then land down here. And then this is another skip here, where I'm just going to jump over this wall. The developers didn't realise you could just jump down there, so that just pretty much skips the entire space section, which again is, I haven't seen that space section in years, because, you know, no one does it. Because everyone does that shortcut, it's very easy to do. The second shortcut does take a lot of learning. But that second shortcut being which you just jump down, you don't have to load the track or anything. It's very much as simple as that. Hopefully I can get this 3 out of 3. Hello AIs. Sometimes the AI's rubber banding kind of breaks, and those are probably the AIs that overtook me when I went into third. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know what happened there, I had an insane amount of speed, so I'm just going to come back up again. And then land down there. And then here, if you look at the boost counter in the bottom right, that's going to hit 150 or over 150. If that hits 150, I get a full amount of speed from my landing boost. So I'm just going to U-turn there and just get a landing boost. So the little speed goes down there. So get 9. And then there's the speed goes over here. Kind of see a bit better, but so we had so much fun doing those 2 tracks that we're gonna do them again, but with bosses. So now for our next boss, we've got some cutscenes coming up, so it's a bit of downtime. If you've got anything to say, Paul?
If you's gonna face outside,
Well, we actually have a couple donations. We have a $7 donation from DFN saying, "I'd like to buy a pound of nuts." That's a lot of nuts. And $8 from Jack of Hearts saying, "Ooga booga." Thank you all for donating.
Okay, so first track again we're going to be doing is Hot Air Skyway, and it's going to rely on pretty much, I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, but I have Pinstripe. Pinstripe, although he's the 4th boss, he has the worst AI of all the bosses for some funny reason. So hopefully he's not going to shoot me, but he's going to be shooting bombs backwards. That's his thing, and which I'm completely fine with because he doesn't drop anything on the track for me to drive into. Okay, I got a little speed ghost there, so if you land on the right part of that hill, you get a speed ghost, which is very precise, and basically not something you get often enough to really, worry too much about it. But if you get it, it's a nice sort of second time saver. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be the same thing we've seen. But we get some really nice voice lines from Pinstripe. He's one of my favourite characters. He's got a pretty good accent. Hope there's a lot of voices in chat as well.
you're mine.
Basically, Pinstripe's absolutely fine with saving the world, but he wants to be bribed to do it. So he'll save the world if he gets paid to do it. That's annoying. I subconsciously went the wrong side of the track as well, but that can happen when you try to do the jump down there. The game just doesn't give you a jump because you're trying to jump off the side of the road, and sometimes you can't really see where the side of the road is, so if you jump too late you just sort of fall down. But it's a little annoying to lose 5 seconds for something that saves half a second, but that's well for you. So hopefully this part here as well is another one, a U-turn, and just land on this boost pad. There, because we do a U-turn, we lose all of our reserves, but it's worth to do because we immediately get them back by landing on that boost pad. It's very sad when you miss that boost pad, so you have to do this whole section with no speed. What am I doing? I'm going the wrong way around this track. I don't know why my head's not switched on right now. I can still do the shortcut. Usually I go the other way, and I don't know why I'm not. So. Also, because I've made mistakes, Pinstripe is going to be ahead of me for this last part of the track. If you do this track without making any mistakes, you do not see Pinstripe until you don't see him. So I'm going to have to dodge his bombs down.
Watch your
Thanks,
back.
man. I nearly hit that one. So, oh, okay, I didn't see that one. I'm pretty sure I'm getting flashbacks from my AGDQ run. Oh, there's another one. Never mind.
We watch it again.
So, yeah, I enjoyed that so much. So,
you
now as
speak
for
me
the
fair
last
and
boss,
square.
which is Oxide,
I doubt
obviously.
you'll be
We
as
haven't seen him
lucky
yet,
with
actually, so that's going to be
Oxide.
exciting.
Here's a key for your troubles.
But yeah, Pinstripe, we beat Pinstripe fair and square, and I think we did. So here's Oxide. He's gonna taunt us or something.
To become world champion. What took you
Also,
so
apparently
long?
taking 49 minutes to get here is far too long for Oxide, so I'm not sure what I have to get for him not to say that. So, as I said before, this is going to be a repeat of a track we've seen, and it's going to be Oxide Station. So if you absolutely love Oxide Station, we're going to do it again. Now, Oxide cheats, and he's got a slow config, so I'm going to just sneak in front of him. Basically, he has a random config at the start. Okay, I can push forward. So basically, Oxide has a random start speed. He went slow there, and I need to not do that. So he went slow, so I could sneak up in front of him. If he sort of goes medium-ish speed, I will sort of hit him on the shot. Oh my god, okay. Oh, and I have to land over here. Because I didn't load much of the track because I had a bad landing, I have to load a lot down there, so that's a little So, basically Oxide is just a mixture of all the bosses that we've raced so far. He throws potions, he throws TNTs, he throws nitros, he throws bombs, he throws whatever he wants to on the track. But he always throws the same things in the same parts of the track, so we know what to expect. But there can be a pretty big run killer here, where lap 3, if you don't make a over 15-second mistake in the first lap, you have to worry about RNG lap 3, but we probably won't see that now. But basically, he will be dropping potions that we will start to catch up with. Because the shortcut saves so much time, we pretty much lap Oxide on this track. And he likes to taunt us the whole time as well, because he thinks he's in the lead. The thing I love about this game is that they don't really have coded in voice lines for if the AI are being beaten quite dramatically, but never mind. So hopefully we get balls. Okay, yeah, we still do, so yeah. Okay. So basically your run can die there, because if you get potions that completely block that shortcut, you can't take the shortcut, and you can't do anything about it unless you have a shield or something to block. Oh my god. Okay. And that's the last shortcut, so it should be pretty smooth sailing here. We're coming up on time as soon as I cross the finish line. So a bit of a shaky start. The lap one's always a little bit harder. Always fine, especially with having to sort of navigate around like it is down here. And time. 52:38, I'll take that, it's less than the 53. I think I got a 51 in the last marathon, but 40 seconds isn't a huge deal, I suppose. We get some ending cutscenes here. Oxide's very sad that he's lost. He's going to be the laughing stock of all of Desmox. We don't care. And then we get the we get the cool credits, which we also don't need to watch. So we're going to skip through that. Because my run's on NTSC, it counts. If your run's on PAL, the credits crash. So unfortunately, it's illegal. You know, that's just, yeah, it never happened. So now I'm just back into the hub world. So because we hit the donation incentive, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of the warp glitch, which I will need my... I quit. What do I need to do? Let's quit this game. I will need my memory cards for this. So, basically, with running the category Warpless, I'm going to load... I made a save file, which I didn't need, but we're going to load it anyway. So, this is fine. So, basically, there's a warp glitch. We're not going to do a full any % run, because the any % run is hitting yourself on bottles for a straight 5 minutes.
While you're setting up, can we read a quick donation? Yes. Okay, we have a $5 donation from Anonymous saying, Thank you all. I had a great time. We thank you too for watching.
Me too.
$1,200.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go into battle mode and we're going to load up Rocky Road. I wish I could explain what's going to happen, but unfortunately it makes no sense to me. So we're going to set the life limit to 3. We're going to turn all these items off. We don't need those items, we only need potions. So this is important. Player 1 has to be red, player 2 has to be yellow. It has to be that way, or else this won't work. Thank you to BetaRam for finding this. This is the worst thing in speedrunning. So basically, the any percent speedrunning is driving his engine, hitting yourself off a potion, picking up another potion, hitting yourself off a potion, picking up another potion, and then that's the any percent speedrun. You do that 19 times. We're only going to do it twice. So I'm going to retry. I'm going to toot my own horn here. I have the world record in this category, and I'm very proud of it. So we're going to do this again. So basically what we've done is there's a sort of counter in the game, and we've increased that counter by 2. So we're going to change setup. You have to change setup or else this won't work. I'm not making this up. This isn't a prank. It seems pretty silly. So I'm just going to press enter there, and what it's going to do, I'm in adventure mode. Why not? So I basically loaded my save file because I wanted a save file with just hub 1 done. But any percent speedrun, you do that 19 times and you walk to the credits, and as speedrunning definition is beating the game and loading the credits, we call that a speedrun. So if you don't like it, then well, you can just run Warpless anyway. So we're going to come over here and we're going to enter, yeah, something clever, yeah, arbitrary code execution.
We just call it bullshit.
I just speedrun this game. So basically I'm now in the Ripperoo boss fight. It's just me on my own. The game thinks we're still in battle mode, so I have a little 3 at the top right of the corner of the screen. So if I go over to this box, the only item I can pick up is potions. Again, that's what I set in the battle mode, so we're just going to do this. We're going to do this. And then we're going to do that. So it thinks we've just won against God knows who. So we're just going to quit this. So that's what I needed that save file for. So now the battle music plays on the menu. This music's sick. I love this music. So we're just going to start a new game. I'm going to take my memory. Actually, I'm going to save with Newt. There we go. Newt. So already we've got some corruptions here with the faces. So we're going to save over Newt. See you, Newt. You've been replaced. So now we're just going to just load the game normally. Nothing wrong here. So there's graphical glitches on the sprites in the engine exhaust, on the wheels in the engine exhaust, which are both sprites, which is a clever tidbit for any people who are into that kind of thing. The wheels are sprites, not actual models. So we're going to start the first track, and the game now thinks we're in a boss race, but we're against Crash. Crash is the boss of this track, so he's going to have a jolly old time throwing TNTs. So it thinks we're in a boss race, playing the boss music this time. And there's one thing I love about this is that Crash is so into the idea of just throwing it. He's just laughing the whole time. So as much fun as this is, I'm just going to skip ahead and finish this race. There's a little more to this, but we can enjoy Crash having a jolly old time throwing TNTs on his Wumper Island. So if you do this in Hub 2, if you do this in Hub 2, whichever race you pick, the AI that you'll have, I believe, is still Crash. I can't do the first shortcut in the game, but it doesn't matter. So if you do this in Hub 2, the boss will copy... they will copy the AI of the boss in that hub. So yeah, if you do this in Hub 2, you'll have a AI that just throws potions. If you do this in Hub 3, you'll have an AI that does Joe's Fin Fig. So that was a difficult choice. So just we're just gonna finish this track. So Crash didn't really stand a chance. So because we were in a boss race, of course we just beat, who do you think? Ripperoo, of course. So we've beaten Ripperoo, and he's going to give us a key. And this is pretty much as far as the fun with the corruptions goes, but we basically get awarded a key on the first track. We also get the trophy for that track. But now we can actually go to Hub 2. You can't do any of the tracks in Hub 2 because they're locked by the amount of trophies you have. Oh no, we don't have any trophies actually. We got the key from that race but no trophies. So basically we just have to do that track again to get the key, to get the trophy. But this is open, which you need the key for. But yeah, it's just a fun little thing. If you're interested in watching 5 minutes of the battle mode glitch, then feel free to do that. It's probably better things to spend your time doing. But yeah, that's C2R.